Girl, I'm confused.
Yeah, me too.
Wait, let's ask chat.
Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Chat GPT. It's your girl Maria and Amna.
Hi. Good morning / good afternoon from London / Austin.
Woo! Yes, this is our international podcast, and we're on. This is episode 7. We thank all of our listeners for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, comment, engage with us. We want to engage with you. We love all of you for listening, and we hope that you guys are enjoying the show so far. And if you have any, oh wait, how? Okay, it might be your iPad. I'm thinking.
Oh, maybe. Oh my.
Oh, we love you guys so much. And yeah, that's about it. Today's episode is fun. Amna pointed out something really insightful that I've also seen on Twitter the other day. Do you want to say what you said about how we've been using Chat GPT
What?
as more like a search engine as opposed to utilizing it for its full abilities?
Oh, in terms of the podcast or in general?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So why'd you put me on the spot? No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, basically I just started to recognize that we've been using it just to Google things instead of actually like engaging with chat and trying to see like if we can play fun games with it or what, like just exploring what chat can do and just getting to know chat a little bit more instead of just using him /it/they for what it provides for us, the answers, the instant answers.
Yes, literally, yes. So, we're doing something fun today, and we're going to create our own language.
We're going to try to use ChatGPT to create our own secret language. Which,
So,
growing up, did you ever have a secret language, like with your siblings or with your friends or anything? That was
oh,
such a thing, I feel like.
oh my gosh, that's such a good question. I genuinely don't think I did, to be honest. I think that I once saw like Pig Latin, was like, oh, Pig Latin would be cool, and maybe looked at it for like a week and then lost interest. But I never ever with my siblings were like, let's do this, or with my grandma or anybody, like, do you want to do this? And there's also Morse code as well, which seemed a bit harder than Pig Latin. But yeah, no. What about you?
Is Pig Latin technically like a real, like, was that just like a made up thing that we all like decide, or is it like technically a real language? It's not, right? It's like a stupid made up thing.
Like, does anyone actually use Pig
Oh,
Latin?
it's a language game. It's a language game, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't think anyone actually speaks it in real life, but people do. Like, instead of, Maria, it's Aria May.
Yeah, it's like
and
there's like a little
and
thing.
in, instead of
What's
T.
Also, your hand looked so like, because it just came up from behind you. It looked so like, oh,
Stop.
he brings you breakfast. He's like, it's a full breakfast. Your hand like appears. That's yeah. What's up? That's what up way.
Hey, way.
How are you? Ow hey, our way, ooh yay.
Ooh, yay.
I love you. I way, oovle, ooh yay. Okay, Pig Latin? Weird. No, I'm just kidding. I thought it was just taking the first letter or something.
Yeah, you take the first letter and you put it at the end and add AY.
Oh, okay. Oh my god, like how creative. Hopefully our language can like one up Pig Latin. I'm feeling a little competitive now.
Fingers crossed. I think it will. Do you guys think it will?
You better. No, I'm just kidding. Are you on our side? Whose side are you on? Okay. Cool. Oh, you were asking if, yeah, I think me and my sister had a secret language, and I want to say me and my friends did, but I remember the one with my sister more, but like I don't remember enough to have anything insightful to say about it. But I know that me and my sister did have a secret language at some point, and it was just like silly.
Sometimes I feel like when you speak another language in a predominantly like English speaking country in a way that is a secret language.
Yeah, like I had a secret language all along, except I'm not even that good at speaking Arabic or anything. But yeah, growing up, actually, I wish I like utilized that more. And I feel like Spanish speaking people kind of have that because there's so many Spanish speakers. Like, there's not that many people that speak Arabic, so it doesn't feel like a I wish you could speak like a really niche language like Vietnamese, like the nail salon. Like I want to pull that off. Like when you go and they're talking crap about you in front of your face, I'm like, me and you need to be able to utilize that. So this secret language needs to be utilizable to where we're in public, there's someone being weird and we can be like, Utne Papa Tete. We both know exactly what that means. And we're like, I was saying, but
I think that the key is learning a few phrases in every language. So no matter where you go, you're able to pick up on a little bit of it.
yeah.
So if we like spend a week just focusing on Russian and then another week focusing on French and then another week focusing on like Cantonese, then eventually like wherever we go we'll be able to be like I know a little bit. Like I picked up that you said hello.
Yeah, just to at least like be able to identify what language is being spoken and stuff. You recently were in Morocco. Was everyone speaking Arabic there, or what? Like, was there a lot of English speakers, or was it a thing where you could be like, they're speaking a different language?
So they were speaking mostly French, which
Uh,
I like had no clue. I felt like maybe I heard it once and it slipped my mind until we got there and I was like, "What? Like everything's in French." And I did take French in high school and then some at uni, and I feel like I'm pretty like beginner to low level intermediate when it comes to speaking and reading it. But like listening and everything, it was a bit like, ooh, it was a good challenge for me. But I was able to talk in French a little bit. And Danielle, my partner, he gave me some. He laughed at me when we were on our way to the cable cars, and I was speaking with the ticketing office, and I was like, "Oh yes, like do tickets for the cable car." And he was like, "You didn't have to say le cable car, like you could have just said the." And I was like, "No, I speak a bit of French, like I have to say le cable car." And
look,
but yeah, no, Morocco, they mostly speak French, but and of course Arabic, but I felt like more people were just speaking French. Yeah.
that's awesome that you got to practice your French.
Yeah.
And
It was really fun and it was really cool. And I know that after our trip to Italy, was it after our trip or after the trip with you and your mom, that's when you wanted to learn a bit of Italian?
it was after our trip, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I want to move to Italy. So I started trying to learn Italian. And honestly, Italian's like a really easy language to learn, I would say. Like it's pretty, well, with a background, I had a little bit of a background in Spanish, but I feel like even without that, it's like a pretty easy language. But I just, and I, yeah, I mean, I have the basics, but it really is just like practice. Because even if you like study it for like 2 months and you get the basics, if you're not practicing, it's not like, you don't have that conversational. Like the second time I went with my mom, and like I would try to like stop people and like be like, "Oh, we have a question," and like practice, and it's just like no one in the streets wants to like sit there and have you be like, um, "Excuse," and you're like not even, like they're just like, "What do you want?" So it's like I think I also joined a class, like I was taking online classes with a group, and there was like an older couple in the group and a bunch of different people, and it was just really funny. I just remember like one of the old ladies always getting frustrated. I was like, I don't get it. I was like, then just don't worry about it. Just use Google Translate.
Yeah, just it's at this point it's fine. There was also, didn't you match with someone who spoke Italian and you were speaking to them in Italian?
Oh, recently?
Yeah.
I don't know if he was like Italian or what.
Uh,
He said something about like the weight of my heart is Italian, and I thought like I think he's talking about Italian food, I think. But maybe he wasn't, so I was just trying to be funny, but I actually do think he's Italian because I was referencing things from like American culture and he like had no idea what I was talking about. So I was like, okay, so you are a foreigner.
Okay, yeah.
But we've stopped talking. He yeah. We broke up. No, I'm just kidding. But we did stop talking because I like made too many harsh jokes, I think, and then we lost touch.
What were the harsh jokes?
Well, it was when I made a joke and then he changed his bio on his dating profile to the joke that I made. And
Oh
I was like,
yeah, that's right.
yeah. So then I was like, I hope the other girls love it. And he was like, what other girls? And then he like asked a follow-up question. I ignored him for like a week or so because I was out of town and busy. And I just didn't like that he was questioning my motive or like my intention. Um, so then why did I just get a start? Is it late? Oh.
Sorry guys, just they're just
Wait,
sending
that's like
cues.
when, yeah, when you're in a group with somebody and one of your friends texts. Are you okay? But you know
Yeah,
what I mean? You're in a group and then one of your friends texts you to be like, I hate this girl or like whatever. And you're like, why are you texting me? And then you read it and you're like, oh.
yeah. That's happened. That's happened. That's why we need a language.
Yeah, no, literally, even in this moment, you could have just like said it and none of the listeners would have known what was happening. But instead, they had to feel what it feels like to be in a group and be texted about behind their back. Um, but yeah, it is really cool that a bunch of different cultures just did basically what we're doing right now, but they did it without ChatGPT. They sat around in a circle, I'm assuming, and just came up with the words and the letters and just
Yeah, how do languages actually start?
we may
Like,
have to start with the basis of like who are we, like how did I learn how to speak? Should we ask chat like who created language?
yeah, or yeah, like how did we go from maybe just communicating with oohs and ahs and grunts and grrs to creating hello, my name is, or bonjour, je m'appelle, or hola. How did we actually go from each region having its own language and also communicating all of the same words but in a different language? Does that make sense? But then,
No, I know what you're saying. Like, how did language become developed and like how did it's crazy that like there's different languages because that means there's different subgroups of like like back in the day it'd be like these cave people and then these cave people, like people in like what was it called, Serbia or whatever, and then there's
Siberia?
Siberia. Anyway, our lack of education is really no. I'm just kidding. But yeah, like there'd be people in like Siberia, but then people in like the whatever South Africa or something, and they both like went through kind of similar stages where like first they started grunts and then they started developing language and different like it's so cool. You
Yeah.
should, which a huge book recommendation is *Sapiens* by Yuval Harari. It's such a good book and it like breaks that kind of stuff down.
We'll link it. We'll link it below, everyone.
Link in the bio. Use my Amazon.
Affiliate link.
Yeah, we need to start making commissions, guys.
But yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly what I mean. Everyone says, hello, I'm doing well, how are you? But I actually have realized that there's also words that only exist in that language. Whenever Danielle's family wants to translate something to me, sometimes they're like, actually, how do I say this in English because this word only exists in our language? Or sometimes they'll translate it and they'll say, "Oh, it sounds better, it's funnier, or it's harsher when it's in our language as opposed to just translating it to English." So I feel like that's interesting as well because you don't really have that, you don't really, you know what I mean? You don't really have that disconnect, or you would think that you would, but there's a true disconnect because all the cultures are different.
Yeah, it's actually like it makes it so much more interesting to like explore. Like I feel like exploring other languages, exploring other culture, and like it's like all forms of expression. I always like explain it to my sister too with like music because she has kids now, and I'm like, get them in music as early as you can because the same way that like babies and kids like pick up on words, they'll pick up on the sounds and the like birds communicate in just music and song. So the younger you can like expose a human to like music and chords and the notes, they will literally recognize it as a language and a form of expression to where they're actually using it the way that we speak to speak using the notes and using the chords and using what they learn to express themselves. So it's like so cool that there's like ways that I guess you can like articulate the way that you express yourself through like really specific words. But you're right, some languages don't even have the specific words for things. If
Yeah.
you go on Pinterest, there's all those Pinterest photos. They're like in Japanese. There's a word called whatever, and it describes the specific feeling, and we don't, you know, like there's so many beautiful things to discover within other languages and other cultures, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, so also there's this new feature in chat where it says deep research, and I don't really know what that means. Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. I think
What
that's
is that?
interesting. I thought that the search just meant I'll do a general Google search, something that we could probably just use Google for. And then deep research meant, okay, I'm now looking through academia, I'm now looking through archives of old web pages or something to find the information that you're seeking. That's what I thought the difference was, but I'm not sure.
Have you used it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then we
Or
don't want to deep research this.
or sometimes it tells me which one it's doing based off of what I've put in.
Okay. So I said, how did language begin? How did we go from communicating in grunts into full language? And what was the other follow-up you kind of said, like, how did... We'll just start there and we'll go from there, but there was a good follow-up as well. But let's see. Oh, there it is. Okay. Are you interested in the origins of language from a biological, evolutionary, or cultural perspective? Would you like an overview of different theories or a focus on specific aspects such as the role of gestures, brain development, or social cooperation? Let me know how detailed you'd like the explanation to be. So we want the origins. Do we want it from a biological, evolutionary, or cultural? All of them.
I think all of them, yeah.
All of the above. Would you like an overview of different theories or a focus on a specific aspect like the role of gestures, brain development, or social cooperation? We'll say overview of different theories
Hmm.
and include how different cultures developed different languages over time. I love the like sneaking behind you. Who's behind you? I don't know. I was like, how different cultures develop different languages over time. Ooh, this is so interesting. But yeah, this really does make me think of Sapiens because it kind of like breaks it down. Oh my God, now it says starting research. Guys, this awesome new feature in chat. Look, me kissing chat. Okay. Okay, so for some reason it like makes it seem like it's really researching because it's gonna take it some time. So we have a little bit of time. It says, I'll provide an overview of different theories on the origins of language, covering biological, evolutionary, and cultural perspectives. I'll also explore how early human communication transitioned from simple vocalizations and gestures into structured language, and how different cultures develop distinct languages over time. Oh my God, I'm so excited to find out. I kind of like it's making us wait for it.
Wow. Okay. So here's my guess
Yeah.
with culture. So I don't want to, I can't even begin to guess about biological or evolutionary, but, or maybe this goes hand in hand, but I believe that what you see around you, wherever they were all growing up and being raised, that plays an impact into the type and the way that their language is developed. So I
The
think that
environment,
hmm?
the environment you're saying?
Environment. Yeah, so I like the I think that if someone grew up in the mountains or in a rugged terrain, they're going to have a different type of language, whether that's in the dialect or in the like smoothness of their voice. I think that that will be different than someone who grew up by the ocean or in the forest or the rivers. And this is just a guess.
How do you think it would differ? Like in what way? Maybe in the type of descriptions, or are you talking about the literal like the sound of the language or the
I think both. I think because we have romance languages.
yeah,
So what is that? French, Spanish, Italian, right? And then
Portuguese? I don't know.
Portuguese, yeah. And then we have like, oh, I don't know. And then we have Slavic languages. So that's, you were literally
More
saying like
density?
Siberia, Russian, where it's a bit more like, and
Yeah, yeah.
and all of that. But I think there's probably a link to the fact that, France, Italy, Spain, they had the coasts, they had mountains, they had a little bit more of a mild climate, whereas Russia, Siberia, all of those places had like harsh winters and maybe not as much, I don't know, not as much access to the mountains and the ocean as the like romance languages. This is a guess, but I feel like there could be a link. Maybe that should be someone's PhD if it's not already.
Someone should write. I mean, you, girl. This is your life path now.
I'm
Um,
busy.
he said I'm busy. I have too much going on. I can't take this on. So you're like delegating it to someone else. We'll reach out. We'll find a historian or something and we'll reach out and we'll let them know that we need this done by Friday. By the next episode, we need to have a follow up. Thank you. Um, I mean, I agree. I definitely think the environment will shape it. I don't know that like the literal elements like for some reason to me, but I don't know, like actually I can't say that I even have a theory because to me I'm like I don't know how like the words become developed and how like how do you even like was it literally a group of people and they're like start the language a little bit like you start off with just the basics, you're like hi, and then everyone's like oh hi, and then you're like how do I explain this, you good, question mark, and they're like yeah you good, and then eventually you're like doing a long hike like with your caveman, your Neanderthal husband, and you're like this is beautiful but you don't know how to express it, and you're like booty beautiful. Like, what does that mean? And you're like, beautiful. Like, how does, like, I don't know how, like, it's been developed. And, like, how do you choose the sounds that, like, how do you choose that this word sounds like this description of this very specific thing? It's very strange. And I don't know how people did it. And I'm so glad we just came into a time where, but also, like, watching kids learn language is crazy. Like
Mhm.
what like just how like it's just like reactive to your group, your core group or whatever, if that makes sense. Like it's
Yeah.
like you need to communicate with like my parents or like my core people as a child. That's like the only thing that matters. So like if they say something, your brain just picks up on like what it means and stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about.
No, it is crazy. And actually, I think isn't English one of the relatively newer languages?
I think so. That sounds right.
Because we have words that are derived from Latin or words that are derived from French. So I bet you, I'm just thinking of how English was created. Let's say, like, what's a Latin word? I feel like you would know.
Amor fati, because that's one of my tattoos. Fati
What does
is
that
like
mean?
eight.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So someone came across the word Fati. They knew what it meant. They knew that it meant however the description for fate is, and they were like, let's change it from Fati to fate.
I don't think it was like intentional because I'm thinking about like how language has developed within our lifetime. Like within the past 20 years of us, like even if you think about like formal English, like if you watch movies from like the 60s and everyone's like, "Oh my dear," like whatever, and now it's like, "Hey girl," I blah, blah. Like, and then it's like even now with different like areas, like if you meet someone from the West Coast, they have different slang and they have different like accents, and they can sound so different from someone from the East Coast versus someone from the South versus so even now there's still these like clear distinctions between how your environment where you grew up like shapes the way that you communicate. So
Yeah.
like even now, like yeah, you can, or like London, like people have a British accent and it's like there are words that they say that are different and slang that they say that's different. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
even now you're still learning like new things. And then it's like I think language just like over time, culturally through societal like things. Like now we have like slay. Like they didn't have slay in the 60s. They didn't have whatever else, riz, and they didn't have whatever other. I'm trying to think of like stupid slang words that only exist now, but you know.
Yeah, but a lot of those slang words are also like AAVE specific, African American Vernacular English,
Mhm.
like go off sis, period, poo, all of that stuff. So it's also like, I feel like that's a different conversation of how like AAVE or you're like, not to get.
Not to get political, but it's total cultural appropriation.
It's all everyone who's not no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I think that language is for everybody as long as you have respect as well for the culture who's created it and can recognize that it's come from certain people. That's all.
Yeah, I think that's the whole conversation with cultural appropriation is like there's different ways to approach it. I feel like it's appropriation when you don't recognize that culture, but you take the aspects of it that benefit you or that you find aesthetically pleasing or that you find funny or whatever. Like but
Uh,
you're actually like recognizing that culture. It's not like an act of love or an act of like kind of I don't know the word that I'm trying to say. There's not a word for what I'm trying to say. I want to create it in a new language, but there actually is a word. I just my brain isn't gathering it. But yeah, like um out of love or out of respect and whatever. I think that's the difference. It's like your intentions. And your intention and your like ignorance level. What, are you okay, Odin?
yeah, there's just like a drain in the background. I wasn't sure if the podcast was picking up on it, so I was trying to move. Can you hear that water?
Yeah. I can't. Where is it coming from?
It's coming from the drain.
It's kind of relaxing. It just sounds like you're
Okay.
like in a meadow. It wrote us like a literal research paper with, oh my God, there's a lot for us to go through, but I'm actually really excited. We're going to come out of this like so smart. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, the origins of human language, biological, evolutionary, and cultural perspectives. So, human language is a unique and complex communication system that sets us apart from other species. While animals can communicate through calls or gestures, only humans can express an infinite range of ideas with structured speech. The origins of this capability remain a subject of debate. Researchers agree that fully developed language was present in early Homo sapiens about 50,000 to 100,000 years ago. But how it
Wow.
evolved from primitive grunts and gestures is still uncertain. In exploring language's beginnings, we must consider biological evolution, evolutionary theories, and cultural processes. So, changes in our brain and our vocal anatomy, how and why language arose, and how language diversified over the different societies. And then it gives us our overview. So, this is literally, yeah, it is also another thing that it just said that like sparked a thought is that this is all speculation because we can't actually go back and like truly observe how it happened. So anything that anyone's come up with about how it happened is still just a theory, which is crazy.
Yeah.
We can never know the truth. Isn't that crazy?
That's insane. Oh, know the truth when we're
But will we even?
when we're
It's not
al-
like you. Or what were you gonna say?
No, you're right. I was gonna say we'll know the truth when we're like in a different plane, but maybe our souls aren't meant to know that.
Maybe that's not our journey. No, because I was gonna say it's not like you go to heaven or whatever you believe you go, and then they're like, "Hey, by the way, the secret is." Like, it's just so annoying. Like, you really just have to decide what you believe is true, but we never know anything. Everything is so theory. Should I screenshot some of this so that you read some of it?
You can read it.
Oh my god. Okay. So it first starts by talking about biological and cognitive foundations of language. So early humans underwent key biological changes that paved the way for language. One critical factor was brain development. So the brain grew larger, so it became more specialized. And the region known as Broca's area, which is so funny because that was, remember I did that awake creating the other day? We literally tested for that in a human. It was so cool. But anyways, so the Broca's area expanded, which is basically it allows for your brain, like the motor function for your brain to say words. And then there's also Wernicke's area, which is a different area of your brain that expanded that creates pathways for speech and comprehension. So basically your brain became more specialized in like language. And then another biological piece is genetics. So there are specific genes that contribute to speech and language ability. So it gave very specific, which we don't really care, but there's a FOXP2 gene, which is the language gene. And it arose 500,000 years ago, and it was pivotal for our speech capacity. So it improves the brain's ability to turn new experiences into routine associations. So it helps us learn that certain sounds correspond to objects or actions. So there was some kind of a genetic, like, I don't want to say mutation, but some kind of a genetic improvement that also allowed us to begin to actually create those connections where if you say a word and you point to a thing, my brain can now remember the pattern.
Yep, okay.
So it was crucial for early vocabulary building, and then we had anatomical adaptations. So we had a lowered larynx, so we developed a voice box and finer control of our tongue and lips, and we were able to create a wider range of vocal sounds. So by the time the modern Homo sapien, by the time of the modern Homo sapien, our species had the biological hardware to actually support complex verbal communication. That's so cool.
Wow. Who knew? Genuinely.
These people did. No, I'm kidding. Somebody. No, but it is crazy to think that, like, I guess for me, like, I just think it's crazy that our development just happens, if that makes sense. I know it's gradual, but it is really cool that it's like, because, like, even with having a gene that, like, slowly, like, pushes our speech capacity, it's like, how does that gene develop? Does it develop, like, is there something within us right now that's developing as a, like, reaction to our current environment, if that makes sense? And then when we have kids, that gene is passed on. You know what I mean? Because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like slowly over time. Oh, it is a mutation. It said a mutation in a specific gene led for greater speech capacity. So I'm like, does the mutation happen as a, like, result of what's happening environmentally? Because it's like, okay, we're trying to communicate more, like you start communicating, and then as you need to hone in more and more on that thing, your brain or your genes start to shift, and then you're able to pass that on so that your kid is actually born with a greater capacity for speech. Like, that's so cool. It's just so cool to me. So that's the biological and cognitive foundation of language, was that our bodies were just reacting to our environment and our needs to communicate. So we became more equipped.
So I wonder then what the brain looks like of someone from 50,000 to 100,000 years ago.
I think it was small.
It would have had to be.
But that, yeah, I mean, even with, like, if you compare, like, our brains to the brains of different animals and stuff, and they can compare genetic codes and stuff, and they can see, like, us and a chimp or us and whatever, and they can see, like, the developments. I can't even imagine, like, how much information they have now about very specific, like, even generations, if that makes sense. Like, you could study, like, a chimp generation and see how within, like, maybe the past 20 years of generations, their genetic code has evolved, which is crazy to think about. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
so basically your brain started to develop certain areas and we became equipped by the grace of, I don't know, our body reacting to the environment. So that's the first thing. Then it has theories on the evolution of actual language. So how did we get from primitive utterances and gestures to rich language? So there's various theories that they have. One is language as an evolutionary adaptation, or adaptation, sorry. So one widely held view is that language evolved because it was useful, conferring survival and reproductive advantages, obviously. Riz, you know? In this adaptionist perspective, natural selection favored individuals who could communicate more effectively. Early humans who could share information about food, dangers, plans, had a better chance to hunt, farm, and defend themselves, so they, survived. Communication would enhance cooperation, so you could coordinate a group hunt, you could warn others. Over time, a series of simple calls or signals could evolve into more complex combinations, allowing our ancestors to convey more nuanced meanings. Stephen Pinker and Paul Bloom argue that language likely arose through such incremental steps. Perhaps the basic few calls for food and danger started to become combined in sequence and eventually led to syntax. That totally makes sense, right?
yeah.
Like you start off by being like, ooh, ooh, and then you're like, that. Like it totally makes sense. Like imagine if me and you never learned how to speak and then someone put us in a room together like for 30 years or like we had to just like roam the earth together for 30 years. Like we'd eventually find a way to talk. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
we'd find a way to communicate. They should do that. They should take two babies and isolate them from the world and then see what happens.
my question is, obviously, I'm sure there was language before. I don't know what the oldest language is, and I know it's not Latin, but I'm wondering when they were saying danger, fire, food, what were those words? Udfe? Was Pig Latin the original?
It was
Like,
Pig Latin. Um, According to most linguists, Sumerian is the oldest language with a clear written record. So it's alongside Akkadian and Egyptian. So those are like the from Mesopotamia or whatever is like the oldest language. But those are like written concrete languages. I don't think there's like a recorded, like you said, of the grunts and stuff. Like we don't know.
yeah.
But honestly, so that first theory kind of makes a lot of sense to me. Let's see how many more. There's a few more theories. So maybe we go through them and then we decide which one we agree with the most. Because that one makes the most sense to me. Like, it's evolutionary. Like, the people that could communicate the most, like, their group survived and they were able to continue to reproduce and grow. Because if your group grows, you get to pass on what you've worked on and then they are, it's like generational wealth. It's like a privilege. It's like we created a language no one else did and now we get to pass that on.
Yeah, yeah. What are the others, and what is it saying about like the cultural as opposed to the language created in ancient Greece as opposed to the language created in whatever was previously known as Canada, or
Let's see. So sorry, I'm trying to go to what you asked instead of just reading everything because I have a tendency to read everything. I have like a completion mindset. Oh, they were saying that it might have started with sign language, like gestures and stuff.
Should I put my theory in and ask chat if that's right?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Here it is, cultural evolution of languages, diversification and change. So now we know that the deep research is going to give you straight up like all the research, which I love this for like things you're really interested in, but like we probably should have done the Google search. Like we need quick answers.
Yeah.
Although I'm loving this. But, So it says once human language existed, it did not remain a single uniform system. It continued to evolve culturally. So now there's about 7,000 languages worldwide. That's crazy. For example, a world map. It was supposed to show me a picture of a world map showing all the different languages, but it didn't. When groups of people carrying a common language migrated apart and became isolated from one another, their way of speaking inevitably drifts over time. In each community, the language involves or innovates in different ways. New words appear, pronunciations shift, and unique expressions develop. So, given many generations, these changes accumulated to the point that once common language splits into different distinct daughter languages, which makes sense because, for example, if you're learning like Spanish, French, and Italian, or whatever, Portuguese, all of those things, like when you're learning them, you'll see that they all have a lot of like the same root word or the same, like a lot, even Arabic, like a lot of the words in French will be like also in Arabic and whatever. So it's basically like there was a root language, and then that root language, like everyone branched out and then created their own families of those languages. And I think that's how like the different languages came to be, was just like, again, like the accents thing. That's just how it is. Like we all speak English, but we still all speak it differently.
Yeah.
And that's the thing today.
I chatted my theory. It said that's an interesting theory, but it also aligns with linguistic and other research. So, for example, phonetics and climate. Some studies suggest that warmer, humid environments encourage more vowel-heavy, open-mouth speech, i.e. Hawaiian and Italian. And then colder, drier climates lead to more consonant-heavy, compact speech, like Russian and Mongolian.
What is a consonant versus the other one?
Vowel-heavy.
Yeah, what is a vowel versus a consonant for those of us that haven't been in an English class in a very long time?
Vowels,
A vowel?
A-E-I-O-U. So I don't know Hawaiian, but like, how
Oh,
you
so
have
like the O.
the
I
O's
don't
and
know.
the A's, whereas consonant, it's more about the like tx and the g's and the hicks and the s. um,
Oh, I
so
see. That's super interesting.
yeah, and I feel kind of smart for thinking that that might have been the case. Um,
That's so smart.
And then for geography and vocabulary, coastal cultures tend to have more words for water related concepts, while desert cultures have a richer vocabulary for sand, wind, and survival related tones, which makes
Totally
sense.
makes sense.
And then intonation and culture. Some linguists argue that musical tonal languages like Mandarin or Thai developed in regions with lush, dense environments where sound needed to carry differently, whereas flatter, open landscapes fostered different speech patterns.
Hmm. How cool is that? Like, that's so cool that, like, again, like, even the language that was created was a product of your environment. Like, I feel like environments, how, like, nature nurture I don't know if it still is, like, such a big discussion. And I'm like, I feel like environment is everything. Like, you can, like, because our bodies are constantly reacting to, like, your external stimulus and adjusting to it.
Yeah.
So, like even if your nature is a certain way, if your environment will bring out certain parts of your nature, like that's just so cool to think about. Again, it's making me want to be a cave woman. I'm like really wishing we were in caves dwelling and creating language. That
I,
sounds so lit. I'm just kidding.
yeah, we're about to create our language. I wonder if it's time.
Is okay, wait, let me skim all this research for interesting things. This is awesome though. Like I love that it's just like, oh my God. I didn't know I could get such detailed information on chat. Chat just keeps getting better and better, guys. Um, yeah, it's just talking about like the different families of language. Okay, good. We're at the conclusion.
I'm going to ask it while you're reading. I'm going to ask chat,
I'm done.
what information about Amna and I would you want to know or need to know to help us create our own language?
Yeah. So we now want to create our own language. That was really good information. We have a basis understanding of the theories. I get. Let me turn the slide off. Is that okay? Kind of better with it. But yeah, now that we have a good basis of like why language, just getting in the mindset of understanding why languages are created, why there's different languages, we're going to figure out what we need to do to create a language that feels super true to us and our friendship and our unique background. Does it know that you're African and I'm Arabic?
I'll put it in there. Let's see. It says, it sounds
What is
like a fun and creative project, which obviously it would be fun and creative coming from the two of us. Um, to build your language, here are some key things to consider. Phonetics and sound. What kind of sounds do you want in your language? Do we want harsh, sharp like German and Russian, or smooth and melodic like Italian or Hawaiian?
Ooh, Hawaiian is what is Hawaiian?
I've never really heard it. Like, oh, Ohana. Ohana means family.
Um, yeah, maybe Hawaii. Maybe we should move to Hawaii for a project. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm down. Um,
Okay.
also, we should consider grammar and structure. Will it follow a subject verb object order like English or something different like subject object verb like Japanese? From based on will words change from form based on tense or number? Vocab and meaning. What words and concepts do you want to emphasize? Anything manifestation?
It's gonna be spiritual. There's gonna be no past, future sense, because everything is always in the present. So like there is no sense of time within our language. Everything is happening all at once, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Which
exactly.
means that our communication will be very abstract, but that's
That's
like the language that we're creating, it's not gonna. Do we want it to be for like day to day communication, or do we want it to be more poetic for like communication of really deep abstract emotion?
I say let's start with maybe day to day and then build off of that like the ancient humans did.
Okay, okay. So
Um,
what else does it need from us?
will it's will it use basically a writing system? Will it use the Latin alphabet, something entirely new, or be purely spoken? So do we want to text in this language or do we just want to speak it? And then influences, do you want it to be inspired by existing languages or completely original? Purpose and style, is this a secret code for your podcast, a fully developed fictional language, or something fun and playful for inside jokes? Let me know what direction you want to take it in and I can help structure it.
Ooh, okay. Okay, so we have a lot of decisions to make.
Yeah, and
I
I
think
hate making
we
decisions.
want I know, it's gonna be really hard. No, but I think we definitely want it to be textable. But do we want to use like the English? We can't use anything else. We don't know any other letters.
But that's what, should we create our own letters?
So like a little puppy dog is an A. Like I don't know. But how do we create our own letters? We'd have to draw them and then input them into ChatGPT and be like, this symbol means that's like a lot. So maybe we should use the English system because we have no other choice due to our personal limitations at this time.
We could draw it on Canva or whatever software.
Right.
Which one?
This is gonna be a day long project.
Yeah, I guess we won't get the language done in this podcast.
We're already at an hour. It's gonna be a 24-hour long podcast of us being like creating letter by letter and grammars and. But yeah, I'm down for whatever.
I think it would be fun, and we could just have cute little like, or cute little like graphics to be
Okay.
B's and C's. We'll think about it because maybe it is easier to just use ABC, the alphabet. But I think
Well, if we create our own alphabet, we have to create the shape, the sound that goes with the shape, and then those will have to come together to create words. And then we have, you know what I mean? So we also have to. We're doing like what took humans 50,000 years to do in one podcast. We're like, we create the grunts, we create the words from the grunts.
So what if like, okay, I'm thinking of gua.
Okay.
Gua means love.
What? That doesn't sound like love.
Okay,
Gu-
what?
It has to embody, I feel like the sound has to embody the meaning. Gua. Gua. Imagine someone loves you and they said gua in the moment. You'd be like, no, it has to be like,
Ah?
the
You.
whole secret language is just screams. Versus like, it just has to be like annoying sound. Means I hate your gut.
Okay, how about this? Let's tell chat that we want it to be like a smooth romance, like easy
Yeah.
type of language.
Because even Arabic, like sometimes I meet people and they're like, say something in Arabic, and I'm like, Arabic is such a harsh language. It's gonna sound like I'm yelling at you, and also my voice like is not that. You know, like it's not gonna be like, oh, like it's not cute. It's gonna be like, and then not cute. You're not gonna like it.
Yeah, okay. We want it to be nice, and I think we want it to follow just English with the subject, verb, object.
No, I should just be no verbs, just subject, and you have to assume the verb. I want it to be like an open concept. I want it to be very, like when I express myself using this language, I want it to be open to interpretation. Like I'm very avoidant, so this leads to a lot of room for ambiguity and vagueness and confusion, which I really like in communication. I'm just kidding. We can do whatever.
Okay. I said it. I'll say we want it to be an open concept.
No, we don't. No, we want it to be very clear communication. We want to be able to communicate the deepest emotions with this language.
Okay, but we
Yeah,
want...
that was a little dig at myself.
That's okay. That's fine. Okay, we want to emphasize like dreamy words.
Yes, we want it to be very dreamy, very spiritual.
Okay.
We want it to be very like floaty. We want it to be like a fairy language, like a language that fairies would speak.
Oh wow, yeah.
Forest. Near the ocean, though. It's like a jungle near the ocean. Fairy.
Okay, a fairy language, but
background.
by the ocean and jungle vibes.
With mountains in the background, like at a distance. Like Hawaii.
Okay, so all the landscapes. Okay.
Block us.
Let's just see what happens when I put all of that stuff in.
Yeah.
Okay. It's thinking. We threw a lot at it.
I know. It's like, what do you want from me?
That sounds beautiful.
That's so beautiful.
So, like a language that flows effortlessly, carries deep emotions and ethereal meanings. Based on your vision, here's a starting point. So, phonetics and sounds, soft flowing syllables like Hawaiian or Polynesian languages, lots of vowels and gentle consonants, minimal hard stops, less use of sounds like K or T, words that feel airy like a breeze or a wave.
Ooh.
Like, so,
Yeah. That sounds like more like love than gua or whatever you said earlier. Dua. What did you say? Sua.
yeah.
Sawa.
So,
I like that. Sawa.
okay. For love?
No, just for
Oh,
something.
just, okay.
Like
Hi.
for cloud.
Oh, cloud.
I feel like Sawa sounds like cloud, like Sua.
Sawa.
Yeah, that's like when there's a bunch of clouds in the sky and it's kind of like breezy. You're like, oh, the Sua.
Okay. Okay. I like it. Okay, I wrote it in my notes. We can collaborate on my notes section for our language. So, okay.
Okay.
Emphasis on metaphor and poetic expressions rather than rigid grammar. Fluid tenses that feel timeless. Maybe fewer distinctions between past, present, and future.
Mm, I like
Words,
it.
vocabulary, and key themes. Words for emotions that don't exist in English, like feeling a peace with the universe or the sensation of floating between dreams.
Ah! Okay,
Um,
but let's create words for that.
okay, words for emotions that don't exist in English. Okay,
Well, there's like alignment is feeling at peace with the universe, but yeah, alignment sounds so like technical and logical.
yeah.
Word like
Floating between dreams. Dr- Gila.
Gila. I like can't even. I feel like
Croissant. Croissant.
yeah. What if we just use words that already exist, but we like rename them what we think? Like croissant is love to me. That's croissant. Be like. Okay, so we have Suwa. Is it Suwa? Like sewer? Like sewer and accent that Suwa.
Sua. Sua.
Um,
Sua is cloud for so to describe floating between dreams, which I've never felt that before.
yeah, what does it mean floating between dreams? I've never floated between a dream and another dream.
Yeah. So maybe we don't have a word for that because we've not felt that.
We don't need to express that because chat's confusing me. Okay, feeling at peace with the universe is like tempte or something, you know? It's like
Kente?
tempte.
What?
Or like maybe you're right, 10 something.
Tenlia?
Tenlia? We're
Tenlia.
gonna feel in alignment. Tenlia. We need a basis. We can't just pull things out of our booty.
So Leah,
We
Leah
base
is
it
the
off
basis.
of a origin, like an origin language, and then branch off of that. Hawaiian. Okay, let's learn Hawaiian and then base it off.
Can you give us a list of 1,000 Hawaiian words with their meaning? I do think Hawaiian's a very beautiful language.
Yeah, give us some basics.
So, aloha is
Okay, how about
love.
this? Let's say hi, how are you, I love you, and goodbye. Those are the 4 phrases we need to create.
Okay, hi, how are you? I love you. Goodbye. Okay.
So what should the hi be? What? Because hi is pretty good. Like hey, hi,
I
what's
think
good?
what we actually should do is base it off of a concept. So maybe we base it off of like flowers. So it's a floral language.
Okay,
Like, right? Or
so it'd be
maybe
like hula,
sunflower.
sunflower. Well, like instead of saying tulip as hi, we could say tulu. Like tulu. Tulu's kind of cute for hi. Tulu.
To lose.
Tulu's like, hey, what's up? How are you? It's kind of like como estás? Like tulu.
Tulu. Okay.
Tulu.
Tulu.
Tulu bien. You too. Oh my god. Okay,
Okay.
so Tulu's hi. How's what's like the well Tulu's like what's up kind of. It's like you know when you see people at work and you're like, "Hey, how's it going?" but you don't expect an answer. You know what I mean? Like they don't actually say anything back. It's just like I'm asking how you are to know that like I care but don't reply. You know
Yeah,
how
like the British, you all right? You're right.
right? Like you're not like, yeah, I'm all right. This has been happening. It's just like, hey, you're all right. Like, what's up? So that's what
Yeah.
Tulu is. But how do you actually ask, like, how's everything been? Like, what's been up?
We'll have to then think of the words for like up, how are you actually? But if Tulu means hi, then Lutu should mean bye.
Lutu. Well, it needs to sound more like abrupt. I feel like Lutu's like open ended. Lutu almost
Lu.
sounds love
Lu.
you. Lou. Lou can be
Yeah.
by. Lou. Lulu.
Tulu. Tulu.
Lulu.
Lu.
Lulu. Lou. Yeah. Lou. Okay, I like that. That's cute. Lulu. And then Lou. And then
Okay.
how should be like super intense. That should sound Russian. um We'll tell chat what our high and by is and say, using this basis, and we're creating a floral language, what should be, how are you?
Okay.
Because chat's supposed to lead us through this. We're not creating it for it.
Okay, you're right, you're right. No, we are, but yeah, we have chat. Let's chat GPT. Okay, so we use this basis in creating a floral language. Tulu. Tulu means hello. Lu means bye. Can you create some more words or a basis language off of this? Basis grammar rules. Oh, I'll also tell it that Sawa means cloud.
Yeah, and exactly.
Okay, let's see. It's thinking. It's like, what the fuck? Oh, I have to give feedback. Chat does this thing where you have to give feedback sometimes, and it asks you which response do you prefer. So, wait, what is this? Oh, okay, I'll just say prefer this response. I don't know. What? It just says finish thinking, but it's not actually giving me anything.
Oh, just
So,
try to resubmit it.
yeah. Chat. Here's a foundation for your language's grammar. So most words are soft, flowing, and vowel heavy. Double vowels a u u e e create an elongated airy effect. So for subject verb object, me be I, Vasa is sea, Lara is moon. So mi Vasa Lara,
What does that mean?
Italian. I I see the moon.
Mi Vasa Lara?
Let me screenshot it to you.
Vasa V is too like Vasa, no, but maybe me like and me wait, what's me?
They're saying me is for I, but it's
I
MII.
because me is for I for everything else, right? Maybe it should be like ooh.
So I can ask it to change it. Like we don't like me for I.
Oh wait, add wa to the end of a
Oh,
verb. Dua, Lara wa. Oh, for it to be okay.
wait, let me send this to you.
Suawa. Suawa is clouds, plural. Suawa. Okay, so adding wa makes something plural. I kind of like that. Larawa. Larawa. Suawa. Oh, you're frozen.
Ah.
Um, how do I say frozen?
Oh crap.
Me no vasalara. Me vas. I feel
Oh
like it should
crap.
be like ooh for me instead of me. It should be like ooh, like ooh vasalara. Sounds better than me vasalara. Sounds like you said Italian, but ooh vasalara sounds like I am seeing the moon, like me and the moon are one, like ooh, right?
Me, say it again.
It
My
says
whole
memory is
oh,
full, frozen. I know. Also, your chat says new memories won't be created until you make space. Your memory's full. How are you not panicking?
Did you see the chart?
Oh no, you just sent it. Let's see. So me, Lara, Sula, Fena. I like that. Navi, Yano. Okay, this is good. Ooh,
Navi
Amoa.
is dream.
Amoa. Huh?
I like Navi, dream.
Yeah, Navi. So it'd be Naviwa for dreams. So we could have like, okay, so if we want a cute saying that's like chase your dreams, it would be like Uvasi Naviwa, like chase your dreams. You know?
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah, I like this. Oh, Tulu, mi sena hani. Hello, I feel love. Mi sena hani. Don't you think it'd sound better as usena hani? Like instead of I feel love, like I am love, or I am like embodying love right now. Because I feel like that's like what makes it like, because you know how some of them talk about like there's like certain things that pass around that talks about like ways people have expressed love in different languages, and then they're like, oh, in this language we say this, and instead of I miss you, it means I am missing you, like I'm missing you, or I'm missing a part of me or whatever. It's like
Yeah.
different ways to express it. So instead of it being like I feel love, if you feel love, instead of saying I feel love, you should say I am love, like I
Yeah.
am embodying love because I feel it right now, so right now I am love. Like
Yeah.
whatever feeling you have, it should be I am instead of I feel.
Okay, I like that. What's I am?
It could be
Ula?
Senna still. Like we could use the same word, but it'd be
Oh, so
like,
Sarah just means am instead of feel.
I
Yeah.
guess. Tulu.
So
Oh, so Tulu is hi. Tulu. Me Senna Hani means I Hani is love. Come on. Give us
yeah,
something better.
let's fix that. I don't like Hani. I do like a lot of the chart though.
I love the chart. Amoawa, so that's stars. So yeah. Me Tamuli Sula. What is that? I created a flower. Me Tamili Sula. Tamili Sula. Sula. So whenever there's two A's, you have to go, ah. me,
Sula. Sula.
me, Tamili Sula. Yeah, we also get to decide like how it's said. Like, is it
Yeah.
Tamili or Tamili, Tamili, Tamillionaire? I'm a young millionaire.
Um, this is great though. Siwawa. Lorawa.
Chihuahua. I know I like the adding wa when you're. Oh wait, and then for future you add new. So I will. So it would be Vasa Nulara will be I will see the moon. Oh my god, I like that. I like adding wa at the end to make it plural and adding new for it to be in the future. What's like past if it's like I saw? Did it say? Because
Adli. Oh, I didn't send it all. Here, let me.
well, no, there's a thing where it says your memory's full, blocking stuff.
Okay, let me. So it's saying add Lee to the where'd it go? Yeah, add Li. So for I saw the moon, mi vasali Lara. Why am I saying it in an Italian accent? I think that's the issue.
Allora, yeah, that's what I'm saying. We can also like really decide on the pronunciation and decide whether it's gonna be like Italian vibes or I want it to kind of sound more like beachy, like Hawaiian. I don't know what Hawaiian sounds like, but I kind of want it to sound more like beachy, you know?
Mi vasali. Mi vasali. Mi vasali. Mi vasali Laura.
Vasali. Like, I don't want it to sound Italian. Mia Vasali. Like literally. It sounds so Italian. I feel like it should be me. Maybe you have to say it longer, like mi Vasali. It all sounds Italian no matter what. Mia Vasali.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just in an Italian accent.
No, Italian is not the vibe. It has to be more Hawaiian. So, okay, if you're trying to see I see or I will see a cloud, it would be, I still think we should change me to oo because I think that would sound better. And it's uvasanulara. Uvasanulara. Okay, that's more Italian. I don't know. Mi vas. I guess mi vasanulora sounds makes more sense than uvasanulara. Uvasanulara. That kind of sounds like a fairy language.
Which one, me or ooh?
I like ooh, but do you like ooh? Because we don't have to do it, but I just think it's different. Like, I hate that me just sounds like everyone does me.
Yeah, we can do ooh. Or like when you think of yourself, what feeling do you get when you're like, I'm Maria?
I get ooh when I think
You
of
get
myself. I'm
ooh?
like, ooh, ooh.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, what do I get? I get ah, avasa.
So maybe each person expresses I in the way that they feel. So yours is like avasanu Laura and mine is uvasanu Laura. You know what I mean? Like, each person's expression of I is dependent on how they feel. So there's
Yeah.
different. It's like saying, it's kind of like a third person. It's kind of like you're saying Amna sees the sky. It's like ooh, and then you're like, well, ah sees this, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
ah, and I'm ooh. I don't know what everyone else is, but we'll work up to it. So, what other words could be like? We like that. Build off of it. We've decided everyone gets to self-express their I, as long as it's a vowel. You get to choose a vowel. It's either e. What are the vowels again? A E I O U. A E I O U are the ones you get to pick from, and you can
Okay.
express yourself choosing any of them, and each one expresses a different version of yourself. So if you're like, right,
Yeah, yeah.
it changes the like sentence. Like, if I'm saying, okay, so it's A E I O U are the vowels that you can choose from. If you say ah, wait, what's the again? Ah, sena, or wait, I feel. Let's say ah senahani means I feel love, but if I say ooh senahani, that means that's different than ah senahani. It's, if I say like ah senahani, I'm saying I feel love in a happy way, but then if I'm saying like ooh senahani, it's more like of a melancholy way or something. You know what I mean? It's like a
Yeah.
form of expressing what version of yourself is expressing that emotion. So you can more complex expression of the emotion because you're also giving the context of like what version of yourself is feeling it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's perfect.
How
So yeah,
fun.
it literally is saying others could choose E, U, or I based on with AI. AI based on personal feeling. Sentence order stays SVO for ease. I think that that's fine instead of trying to. Oh, subject, verb,
Oh,
object.
yeah, that's fine.
Um, Hanu is breath or life. Oh, let me
Oh,
just send this to you.
yeah, can you send the new one?
Tima is heart. We'll change it up.
I like a lot of it, honestly. I really like our language so far. It's cute.
It's really cute. I'm actually really excited to learn it and do the whole eighth podcast in it.
Yeah, and it's gonna be so abstract. It's just gonna be I feel. Okay, so Hanua is lives. I just really like the wa, ending in a wa. Sinoa is light. Faro is ocean. Faro.
Faro, fa,
So you
fa,
can't say
faro,
faro. It has to be faro.
fa,
Because you say
faro,
faro, it sounds like Italian. Faro.
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 I might change ocean, but I need to think about it because I do love the ocean.
Ruawa is rains. Rua. Rua's rain. Pala.
So
Pala
let me
for ocean
ask
is good.
how to say it's raining.
We'll tell it to give us verbs now because it gave us a bunch of nouns. Say, give us verbs.
Say my
You know,
prayers.
because once we have the verb, like, be like, give us a long list of nouns and verbs. So then we can use that list and we can start creating little, like, conversations.
To say it's raining in your language, we can combine ruah with a verb that conveys action. Since we introduce fini to flow, we can use it to express rainfall. So it's raining, ruah fini. Rain is flowing.
Oh, wait, where's flow? Did you send me the verb list?
I don't even, it might be.
Oh, it needs to give us a verb list, but I do like that. It's like you don't have to say it's raining, you just say rain flow. Ruach.
Yeah, ruah fini. Or rain flows with life/breath. Ruah fini hanu.
Can we add la like into that? Like ruah, fenila, whatever. If it's like, because no, too much. I just feel like fenny is so like what? Fenny, but fenila. Maybe that's like the ing. Like if it's no, never mind. So ruah, fenny. What was life?
Ruah fini hanu.
Oh, I like that. Ruah fenny hanu.
Rain flows through time to make it more of a dreamy and mystical. Ruah fini ona.
Ruah fenny ona.
Would you like a way to intensify the phrase? Like, do you want to differentiate between heavy rainfall and light rainfall?
Yeah, we want to be that specific.
Do we?
Oh no. Do
Yeah.
we?
We'll just say yeah. Yeah, please.
Well, maybe like Ruah with a T is like heavy rainfall, like Ruat, because that's like heavy Ruat. And then if it's light rainfall, it's like Ruah or Ruao or something.
Actually, it's giving us, I like that because that is simple, but this is giving us Ruah Fini Suva. It's drizzling.
Oh.
So
What?
then, but then we can use Suva in other ways as well, like drizzle the icing on the cake.
Like
Suva.
it's like, as drizzling is Suah, or is it like lightness? Like is the describing word could be like a light version of whatever you're saying. So if you're saying like breathing heavy, it would be whatever, but Hanu Suah would be like light breathing, like a easy breath. You know?
Yeah. Let me send this to you. My laptop is dying. Let me go inside.
Get yourself inside.
Okay, I'm gonna send it to you. We'll have a
Yeah.
podcast break. Okay, that was our little break, and in our break, we decided that we have been, it's about an hour to an hour 15, depending on how we cut it, but it's been a pretty long episode, so we're going to split it into two parts actually, and we're excited to do some more language development because I think our language is so beautiful right now.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. And I'm so excited to develop it and be able to write some books in our language and write some poetry in our language and have you guys talk to us in our language. It's going to be incredible. It's the start of something beautiful, but it might take 2 to 3 to 4 parts
Yeah.
to develop. We're going to have to hire a linguist to help us.
And honestly, once our language is developed, maybe we get an island and then we start a civilization.
We're trying to branch off from society. If you guys want to join, once we hit 5K subscribers, we will buy the island. If you guys have to put money into the GoFundMe, obviously, and then as a group, we will purchase the island, and then we can all have it like as our safe space. Whenever we want to go hang out, we can all meet up there, and it's total anarchy, no rules. Everybody have a good time. No, it's because everyone in our community is going to be really good spirited. So everyone on the island will just like function off of love and kindness. And it's going to be so good.
Yeah, that's going on my vision board.
Yeah, same.
Our island, and you can only speak our language. So
Only speak our language. You have to be hot. You have to be. I'm just kidding. What are the rules for entry? It's like women get in free, men 25.
no Capricorns, no.
Capricorns. My mom's a Capricorn. How's she gonna visit me?
Okay, only your mom.
Also, I'm a Capricorn rising.
No Taurus
Like no
sun.
Aries.
But anyways, let us know how you found this episode in the comments. Let us know what you think about our language. We're hoping that you guys love it and you're excited to actually hear a bit more about our language. So,
Yeah, and this was such a fun episode. We hope you guys enjoyed listening. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And we love you guys.
we
Can't wait.
love you. Mwah. Mwah.
Ohana Woo or whatever. I love you.
Woo.